Everything in this bill is structured to help one constituency, and that is fossil fuel companies and executives. H.R. 5482 would require very one-sided, so-called energy poverty studies to show the benefits of oil and gas production and slow down any federal actions to transition away from fossil fuels. This bill takes a completely upside-down view of energy insecurity, tying fossil fuel production at one end of the supply chain to the energy prices we pay at the other end. It's a trickle-down assumption and approach. It basically says the more we produce fossil fuels, the more gas and oil that we extract, the lower energy prices Americans will have to pay. The money made from oil and gas production isn't even going to everyday Americans' pockets. It's lining the pockets of oil and gas executives. In the past year, big oil profits reached a record of $200 billion. Our public resources are not being developed for the public good, they're being developed for private profit. Today we will discuss H.R. 5482, the, quote, Energy Poverty Prevention and Accountability Act. Energy insecurity is a problem in the United States. In a 2023 Census Bureau survey, more than 1 in 4 households in the United States said they had difficulty paying their energy bills. They've cut back on other essentials to pay for energy, or they've lived with unsafe temperatures to lower their bills. We see this in the Bronx all the time. We in Congress should be taking energy poverty seriously, but H.R. 5482 is far from the answer to this. While sponsors say this bill will help low-income and overburdened minority communities, which is one that I represent, it's not hard to disprove either. If more fossil fuel production meant lower costs, why is it that today, while American oil and gas production is at a record high, home energy costs continue to go up? For one, the oil and gas we produce does not stay in the United States. Our country is exporting more oil and gas than ever. Regulators, analysts, and utilities have repeatedly found that natural gas exports are driving up the costs for consumers. And that is because exports tie American gas prices to the volatile global market. Under the Trump administration, the Department of Energy commissioned a study on natural gas exports that concluded that exports are in the, quote, public interest because they would benefit big oil's American shareholders. Gas exports are still being approved based on this widely discredited study. When we also look at energy bills, we also need to consider the types of homes and appliances that people use. If you live in a mobile home with no insulation and decades-old appliances, that's also going to drive your energy bills up even higher, which already compounds on people who continue to be financially strained. You'll have to pay more to heat or cool or cook than in a better insulated apartment with energy-efficient appliances. And so, as we are here discussing the very real problem of energy insecurity and costs, I want to make sure that we're here to discuss real solutions. Because if one was looking to actually lower one's energy bills, one might look to cut private industry profits or to halt fossil fuel exports so that Americans can see the benefits of our energy production. One might set up a public trust so that profits from our energy production could be reinvested into our communities. But this bill does nothing to limit our fossil fuel exports, and it does nothing to redirect profits towards public good. Instead, it explicitly calls for studies that, quote, encourage private energy sector investment on federal public land and tribal land. If one was looking to actually address energy poverty, one might create programs that incentivize energy efficiency. But my colleagues across the aisle have repeatedly tried to cut the Inflation Reduction Act programs that help everyday Americans afford energy-efficient appliances and other improvements. Lastly, if one were also looking to address the issue of energy insecurity, one would also not ignore the climate crisis. From rising temperatures to intensifying disasters, the rapidly changing climate is directly driving up home energy bills, making our energy system less reliable and communities more vulnerable to disaster. The fact is, this bill does not address energy bills. Instead, my colleagues across the aisle are exploiting the language of poverty and in order to enrich private oil and gas interests. If we actually want to reduce the energy burden on American families, we need to end our reliance on fossil fuels and our dedication to maximizing oil and gas profits, not double down on them. For that reason, I'm encouraged to see H.R. 6474, a bill promoting geothermal energy development, on the docket today. And with that, I yield back.